The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100, and get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by our mini helmet contest. The SGP mini helmets are now in the store, and we're giving one away for free. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/helmet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/helmet. And football bingo is back, this time for the NFL Christmas Day slate. Free to play, and every bingo gets a $100 SGPN gift card exclusively on the SGPN app. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Christmas Eve, here to discuss the much-anticipated Christmas Day games. We'll break down every game for you as usual, but helping me to break those games down on this Christmas Eve day, you know him as the newest voice on the NBA Gambling Podcast. It's my main man, Delonte Smith. Delonte, how you doing, my man?
Pretty good, man. Merry Christmas Eve to everybody. Looking forward to breaking down pretty good slate. Lost a little bit of luster to some injuries to a couple games, but still some pretty good games. So looking forward to getting into that.
Yeah, plenty of good games on the schedule for the NBA Christmas Day. I know some teams are dealing with injuries. We'll get into that when we break down the games. But also joining us here on this special edition for the Christmas Day games, you know him as a superstar of the show, the villain. It's Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, what's going on, my man? I had to come off the bench because you were calling me out.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you sucked it up and you was able to deal with it like the rest of us. We had a late scratch, and Ryan McKee was a late scratch for this one. So something we weren't used to, something we weren't ready for. But it's all right. We bounced back. We're ready. We got the team together, and we're looking to go out here and put on a good show.
Yeah, man. Great night of basketball last night, I guess we could say, in the NBA. Like I said, we're here to talk about the Christmas Day games. So we could briefly touch on last night. Terrell, how did the picks work out for you guys last night? You and Scott were on the pod yesterday. How did everything go last night?
Oh, I did terrible. I missed out on Lakers -3. Missed on Portland money line. It looked good in the early part. Portland just kind of ran out of gas towards the end of that. So lock and dog was bad, but we gave out some good picks. Memphis 11 plus +3. I think it was 3-1, something like that. Yeah. That was easy. Never in doubt. I said I was gonna make that my dog, and I didn't do it. I should have did it. This Suns team was not ready for Memphis, and Memphis gets up for them. Man, it was a pretty all right day, but in terms of lock and dog, I definitely folded.
Yeah, I mean, we can't pick every single winner here on the pod, but we pick more winners than we do losers. Hopefully, we bounce back here for the Christmas Day games. Lance, how did your night work out last night, my man?
Pretty good. I had Brooklyn last night. I thought that was a good spot for them. Brooklyn has been playing well. I know the last time we talked, one of the last times we talked, we were talking about futures, and I know you were kind of with me on Brooklyn was a little bit high, 10-1 to win the East. So I bet them. I've been betting them a lot lately. I feel like they're getting more healthy with T.J. Warren, Seth Curry getting his legs back under him. Joe Harris still up in the air. But I just like what I've seen from him. And so I had a winner with them, a winner with Magic. And that's the only two plays that I had last night. Overall, some good basketball going on throughout the association.
Yeah. We had the Clippers and Philly game turned out to be a pretty good one. I was watching that one. Philly pulled it out in the end in the second half, especially where the Clippers came out shooting really hot last night. Let's see, Chicago, New York.
Shout out to Tobias Harris for that under. Shout out to Tobias Harris.
Yeah, y'all were on that under yesterday. And then the Chicago Bulls and Knicks game, that turned out to be a pretty good win. DeMar DeRozan, I had the over 25.5. He hits the game-winning shot, and then just fell short of getting over 25.5. Last night, he finished up with exactly 25 points. Did finish with a double-double, 25 points, 10 assists. for the Chicago Bulls as they get the victory in New York yesterday. And then also, I think that we should mention and need to talk about how great Tyrese Halliburton has been playing this season. Another game winner last night. He drops a 40-piece against the Miami Heat yesterday. Finished the game with 43 points. He was 10 of 16 from three-point line last night, 14 of 20 from the field overall.
Hashtag fake all-star. Hashtag
Yeah.
fake all-star. Hashtag want to be all-star.
It seems like he's taking that a little personally.
38 points per game since just 38 points per game. It's simple.
Just a casual.
Yeah, you know, SGA's been doing that all season. Neither one of them deserve to be all-stars.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He hits the game-winning shot last night again for the Indiana Pacers, as they are shockingly one game above 500 are the Indiana Pacers. But yeah, Halliburton doing Hallie things so far this season. Anything else that kind of stuck out to you guys last time before we get into these Christmas Day games?
RJ Barrett, man, this Knicks team, you never know who's gonna go off. It's always somebody different every single night. But RJ Barrett, man, 44 points. That's incredible. I think he was the leading. No, Luka was the leading point scorer last night.
50, yeah.
He was up there. That 44 piece was nice by RJ. And I mean, dog, Paulo Banchero just gets assists. Like he draws so much attention, he gets assists. He hit 4 again. I think his prop was at 3.5 again. Like he gets his assists. So yeah, shout out to him. And I really didn't have much else from last night. Oh, and the Boston Celtics going out there and getting me a cover. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm telling you, when people start agreeing with me about the Boston Celtics, that's when Boston plays well.
Yeah, they came out in that second half, and well, actually after the first quarter, they won second, third, and fourth quarter to go ahead and get that victory and the cover, more importantly, last night against the Minnesota Timberwolves. 121-109. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both finished with at least 30 points last night. Jaylen Brown, 36 points. Did have a great shooting night. He was 3 of 13 from the three-point line and 13 of 29 from the field overall. Jason Tatum, 10 of 22, 1 of 6 from three-point land. He did finish with 30 points, but I think Al Horford was really the guy that was knocking them down for the Boston Celtics from beyond the arc. 5 of 10 from beyond the arc last night. He finished up with 17 points, also had 11 rebounds in that game for the Boston Celtics. Delonte, anything for you, my man, before we get into the Christmas games?
Just a couple things. First, sorry, Nick, about the Lakers, man. Listen, don't bet on the Lakers. I don't in any capacity. Unless you're betting some player props for LeBron, I wouldn't touch any Lakers things. So I'm sorry to Nick that my Lakers did that for you. And Washington. I know I think Thursday, whenever we were on the show, maybe Tuesday when we were on the show, we were talking about Washington and Chicago being pretty much play against teams, and since then, all they've done is like covered every game that they played. So I was looking a little deeper into Washington. They covered and won last night as 8 dogs in Sacramento. I think they've been playing. I think they have found a little bit of rhythm with everybody in the lineup. Bradley Beal's finally healthy. Porzingis is, he's still in and out of the lineup, but when he's there, he's a factor. Kuzma's playing incredible. He's probably going to be traded soon, though. So I'll be looking to play on Washington as big dogs as we progress into the season. And Memphis, not so much the game because they pretty much blew the doors off of Phoenix, but it was a little bit of chatter between Dylan Brooks and Devin Booker on the bench. I don't know if you guys seen that. And apparently Dylan Brooks was saying that he was hoping for Devin Booker to play so he can shut him down. And whenever they go to Memphis, he'll be looking forward to shutting him down. He's just talking a little bit of smack. I'm not sure if, he's going to be ready for what Devin Booker's got in store for him. But, Dylan Brooks, the all-time irrational confidence guy.
Yeah, that game was over before the tip between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Phoenix Suns. Memphis got out to a 39-20 lead in that first quarter and pretty much didn't look back the rest of the way. They get the easy victory by 25 last time. I'm sorry, 125-100. The return of Desmond Bane last night for the Memphis Grizzlies. Big get back for them as far as your starting lineup. Another guy that can shoot the basketball for the Memphis Grizzlies. A little rusty, but that's expected when you miss the amount of time that Desmond Bane did. 4 of 13 from the floor, 2 of 8 from three-point line. He finished the game with 17 points. But hey, they head to Golden State on Christmas Day to get some revenge from that playoff
Yep.
series last year. All right, guys. Before we get into the Christmas Day games, let me tell you guys about a presenting sponsor. That's WinBet. WinBet is the official online sports book of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. WinBet is active in a bunch of states, and there are tons of ways to win, including live betting and same game parlays. Plus, for the hashtag DGens only, try your luck at WinBet's Parlay Wheel. Great promos, odds, and payouts are happening right now at WinBet. Ready to play? Sign up today to receive a special offer. Bet 100, win 100. Limited state availability. There's so much to choose from. All you have to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet so they know that we sent you. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WINNBET to claim your free bet today. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 years or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Also, don't forget to enter the SGP Mini Helmet Contest. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/helmet to enter. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/helmet. And football bingo is back. This time for the NFL Christmas Day slate. Free to play, and every bingo gets a $100 SGPN gift card exclusively on the SGPN app. All right, gentlemen, let's get into this Christmas Day schedule for the NBA with the first game on the board. It's going to be the Philadelphia 76ers headed to the Big Apple to take on the New York Knicks. This line opened up in favor of the Philadelphia 76ers, -3.5. That number has been bet down to -2 now in favor of the Philadelphia 76ers. Total opened up at 219.5. That number has also been bet down to 217.5. See some 218s out there as well. No injury reports yet because we are recording a day early here for these Christmas Day games. But make sure to check those injury reports before you bet on these games. But we know that Tyrese Maxey is out for the Sixers. Quentin Grimes has been in and out of the lineup for the Knicks. He did play last night on Friday for the New York Knicks, but he should be a go in this game. Expecting everybody that's relatively healthy to be playing on these Christmas Day games. But let's start with the spread here. Terrell, I'll let you lead it off, my man. Philly laying 2.5 in New York tomorrow to take on the New York Knicks.
Well. Here we are, and we have Philly laying points on the road, which is disgusting in the fact that you're thinking about Philly is 5-7 ATS on the road this season. I'm trying to look at their as favorites and what they do as favorites.
They're 3-2 as road favorites, but 5-7 overall, like you mentioned, against the spread.
Yeah, it's just not a decent road team. But here you are, and you have the New York Knicks where you're going into the Garden. It's the Garden on Christmas Day. I really, truly think that I can throw out the road stats just because of the magnitude of this game. Like, this is what people dream of, playing in Madison Square Garden on Christmas. Like, this is the dream. Even when the Knicks were hot, garbage, dog shit, they get Madison Square Garden on Christmas. And I think this is a spot where this Philadelphia team seems to start clicking a little bit more. Could be recency bias, but they've covered 4 of the last 5. They've won 5 straight. I'm leaning over to Philly here. I think Joel Embiid is a matchup nightmare for the Knicks, and they truly don't have anybody that can guard him without fouling. So I expect to see some foul trouble for all of the bigs, and really Jericho Sims is where I'm looking at, and we'll see if Pop gives him the minutes, but Jericho Sims was able to guard him pretty decently last year. And, he learned from playing Joel Embiid. So Sims could be interesting. I think Mitchell Robinson is barbecue toast to Joel Embiid. Like, I think he's going to be in foul trouble. He's going to get up out of there early. So I'm expecting another big Joel Embiid game like I did from the Clippers. And maybe James Harden's not washed. Maybe he's not. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I still think they have enough options, and I don't have the trust for this Knicks team right now. Even though they are coming off of that really crazy road streak, they have lost the last 2, and both of them were at home. So, do we make it 3 in a row at home? Yeah, let's do it. I'll take Philly -2.
Yeah, I was leaning Philly in this game as well. New York has been a really good team on the road, especially their offense has been better on the road this season for whatever reason. And like you mentioned, Terrell, that I think that the Joel Embiid matchup, whether it's against Mitchell Robinson or Julius Randle, whoever it might be, that's going to be barbecue chicken
Mm-hmm.
for Joel Embiid. And you're right. I think that if Tibbs puts Jericho Sims out there to maybe match up on Joel Embiid, that'll be interesting to see. But you mentioned James Harden there. He's been really good against this Knicks team for whatever reason over his past 3 games against the Knicks. He's put up at least 26 points in each of those matchups. He's had eight assists and near triple doubles against this Knicks team as well. So maybe look for some player props. We'll get to player props here in a second. But
And just think of the history that the 76ers have against the Knicks. Like,
yeah,
one, you remember all those bad 76ers teams, all of the bad 76ers teams. I'm going to read you off the game logs real quick. Last matchup, Knicks won 106-104. After that, loss, win, loss, win, loss.
15.
So
That was 15 if you were keeping track out there.
yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it was. It was 15. So I don't know. This team has their number. Knicks have been doing a lot better recently, but I still think that Joel Embiid can have a good enough game. James Harden has played this team really well, and he's comfortable in Madison Square Garden. I'm pretty sure he still owns the scoring record for Madison Square Garden right now.
Yeah.
At 62 points. I'm almost positive he still owns it. So,
yeah,
I'll take my chances and just say that the Knicks, while they're playing a lot better defensively recently, I don't think that they have enough to stop the options of the 76ers.
Delonte, what do you like for this game? Let's start with the spread, man. Let's call it -2.
Yeah, the spread I'm not really strong on. If I had to play it, I would probably lean to the Knicks. Not really strong. I just feel like that they'll be up for this game a little bit more. Simply because they won 8 straight. They had won 8 straight before losing back-to-back games. 8-2 last 10 ATS, and Philly's coming in hot. 7 in a row. So I think it's going to be a defensive slugfest. And I think that somewhat favors the Knicks if they can keep Mitchell Robinson on the floor. I mean, that's a big, like you guys mentioned, that's a big component to this game, because if he can he doesn't have to stop Embiid, because nobody can. But if he can just, allow them to play more one-on-one where they won't have to double him as much and only in certain situations, and I think they have a better shot. Because defensively, the Knicks are pretty good. They're 7th in defensive rating. They're 5th in effective field goal percentage defense, tied for 3rd in effective 3-point percentage defense. So on the perimeter, defensively, I think they'll be fine. Guarding Tobias Harris and James Harden on the step back threes. But my stronger team would be the under. So I agree with both moves of it moving down from 3.5 to 2. And then from 219 to 218.5 or 218, whichever, depending on where you shop at. So both teams are top 12 points per game allowed. The only advantage I see is that Knicks, while Embiid is the dominant force, they're still 29th, and they're still 26 in rim rate defense, and points in the paint. New York Knicks are 6th. So if Embiid is getting attacked and getting, switched in pick and rolls with Randall and Brunson, it could lead to some success with the Knicks. But I just lean to the under a lot more than I would the spread. 7 of the last 10 Knicks games have went under. And in this matchup, like you were reading off the matchup was, the last 2 have went over, but 6 of the last 7 have went under. And in 5 of those games, one of those teams have not cracked 100 points. So I think that we get a 105, 102 game, or maybe 104 or 102, depending on which team you want to cover. So I would lean heavily to the under. And if I had to play the side, I would probably play the Knicks.
All right. Terrell, thoughts on the total here at 217.5, currently over at WinBet. Sorry, 218.
Oh, I was about to say somebody smashed it again.
Call it a gut play, but I think I'm on the over, man.
Oh, wow.
I get why everybody these two teams playing a lot better defensively, really good defensively. All the numbers are there, but I'm gonna just talk to the players, and I'm gonna just think of the players. And both of these two teams don't like each other. Both of these two teams competing for playoff seeding in the East. This is a really big game in terms of where they're gonna sit at. I think both teams are gonna light the scoreboard up. I truly do. I think they're both going to get out and just start scoring. And no matter how good the defense is, I'm always going to take a better offense over a better defense just because of how talented players in the NBA are. So I think people are comfortable in this building. We know the atmosphere of Madison Square Garden. The players are comfortable in this building. Everybody feels decent. And everybody has a day off rest. I think this is a spot where we see a bunch of points. So yeah, I think we get a high scoring game for the first game of the day.
All right.
Like the Knicks. You like Philly's offense better than Knicks, or just Embiid better?
No, I think I like individual players better than I think that overall in terms of depth. I think the Knicks have more depth than Philly. However, Philly gets a lot of contribution from that starting five in terms of scoring, and that can really help. And the Knicks, they do tend to not close out on 3-point shooters, not close out on the outside. Sometimes they have those issues where they get a little lax good day score on defense, and I think that Philly can make them pay. So I'm leaning under. It just feels a good way to zig when they zag.
Oh, you mean over?
Over, yeah, I'm leaning over.
Yeah, it's just that I think that the Knicks. Metrically, I get what you're saying. Tesla, just metrically, a lot of the metrics would favor and say that the Knicks are the better offensive team now. That could be due to schedule of opponents faced, and some of the metrics might be, a lot of noise in the metrics. But Philadelphia 20th in offensive rating. The Knicks are 11. So not much of a difference, but a decent sized gap. So it's just interesting to watch. Some of those young guys from New York I like a lot, like Grimes. I think when McBride gets in, he's productive. Quickly, I love Quickly. Topping, I think they have more energy than Philadelphia has. So,
any excuse me, any player props we're looking at in this game? Terrell, I'll start with you.
Yeah, we talked about Joel Embiid and what he does on Christmas Day. He has 3 Christmas Day games in his career, 25 and 16. One against the Knicks. So 25 and 16 in his first Christmas Day game against the Knicks. One against Boston, 34 and 16, and then Milwaukee as well, 31 and 11. So he does get off on Christmas Day, has a pretty solid day. He also's got 3, 2, and 3 assists. So finding a nice number on his assist. I don't know if that's sitting at 2.5 or not, but that could be a play that I'd be looking to be interested in as well, just because he's going to demand a lot of attention, and the Knicks are going to try to get the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, I see a 3.5 for his assist. And then his points are at 29.5. So I think he could go out there and get 30 for sure.
And then I'm fading RJ Barrett after a 44 piece. This team is just too inconsistent with the scoring. And RJ Barrett had the good game. Jalen Brunson had the bad game. Jalen Brunson also cost them the game with the free throws. So I think that this is a good spot for the Knicks, where you just kind of play the opposite and say that it goes the opposite way. So looking at RJ Barrett, it's like 23.5. Like, come on, give me under RJ Barrett. Under 23.5. I think he flops this game. And Jalen Brunson is at 20.5. I'll take the over on his points.
All right. Delonte, what do you got for player props, if any?
I like the same with I like Jalen Brunson over 20.5. Definitely feel like he'll have some advantages with. I'm pretty sure Harden is going to be on him, which I'm assuming, because they'll have like PJ Tucker on RJ Barrett, so that's that bodes well for Terrell's pick to go under. Julius Randle over points, rebounds, assists. I've been betting it pretty much the past month. He's been scoring over. That was one of my bonus locks on the episode me and Real had last week or this week. So I will keep riding with that. I think he's going to have a lot of chances to get to the line, pull and beat out, shoot some threes. So those are the only two that I like as of right now.
Yeah, I like that, man. All right, anything else for this game, guys?
Harden turnover prop. Strutter's just dropped in the chat, and
yeah,
absolutely. Tough Knicks defense. I think it's going to be a quicker pace, to be honest. So I expect to be a little bit more lackadaisical with the ball. You know, he's always going to have the ball in his hand. So if you can, I'm looking for a number right now to see if I can find it. Here we go. James Harden. Yes, sitting there plus money at 3.5, plus 110. Yes, thank you very much. I'll put that in right now.
Yeah, that's a good call. All right, guys, let's get over to the next game of the night, or sorry, for the afternoon on Christmas Day. It's going to be the LA Lakers headed to Texas to take on the Dallas Mavericks. This will be the second game of the afternoon, or sorry, for Christmas Day. Look at the lines for this game. The Dallas Mavericks actually opened up as a 4-point home favorite. That number's been bet all the way up to 8.5 in this game. Total opened up at 218.5. That number's been bet up to 229.5. Obviously, no Anthony Davis for the LA Lakers. Dallas are going to be without Maxi Kleber in this game, but Delonte, let me start with you on this game. Let's start with the spread here. Currently seeing Dallas as a 8-point favorite at home, hosting LeBron James and the LA Lakers. What do you think about the side?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. This handicap is pretty simple for me. If you like Lakers, which I don't, you just like pretty much put your money on LeBron to carry like a G League team. And if you like Mavericks, who I think are fraudulent myself, you just betting on them, like the other guys hitting threes and being able to attack the Laker defense where it's weak, which is on the perimeter. They don't have a lot of perimeter defenders. They're stronger in the paint whenever they play a lot of that zone. It's like a matchup zone that they play on certain spurts whenever, especially when LeBron's out of when he's on the bench, because they lack that one on ball defender. So if you want to play each side, I can make an argument for both sides, but I would stay away from the side. This is the 17th Christmas game for LeBron. He's the all-time leading Christmas Day scorer. The Lakers have the record for most wins on Christmas Day with 24. I kind of wish that they just wouldn't play on Christmas again and just leave it at 24 just for Kobe. But that's just a fan thing in me. So I wouldn't play this game at all. I guess if I had to, I would lean to the Lakers simply because LeBron is just unreal in primetime situations. He's gonna embrace that matchup with Luka. The only shot that they have is getting up and down. They are top 5 in pace, while the Mavericks are bottom 5 in pace. So it's gonna be whoever dictates this game is gonna win and cover. So if the Lakers can get them down, run and gun, and make some shots, Reeves and Lonnie Walker, and I'm not gonna say Patrick Beverly, but if what's my guy name? Matt Ryan, Schroeder, like if all those guys can at least play, to a median level, then I think the Lakers have a shot to cover and it'll go over. And if the Mavericks are hitting their shots, they're slowing the pace down, a lot of pick and rolls with Luka. Without AD, I think Luka's gonna feast. Luka might have 50, to be honest. So as for the side, I'll pass on it if I had to. I would just take the Lakers just strictly off of LeBron, like nothing else. Just him in a big situation. It's something I would assume it would be profitable. I don't have the numbers to back it up, but I would assume in quote unquote primetime spots, LeBron shows more often than not. So I got something on him a little bit later.
Dallas at home this season against the spread 5-10-2, and then as home favorites 5-10-1, and Lakers have not been very good on the road against the spread either. 5-11 against the spread and 3-11 against the spread as road underdogs. So it's almost like pick your poison here, but a lot of the trends are pointing towards the over in this game. Lakers 10-6 overall towards the over. Against the number, I'm sorry, to the over, and Dallas is 10-7 to the over at home so far this season. Lakers also 9-5 to the over as road underdogs, and Dallas is 10-6 to the over as home favorites so far this season. I couldn't bring myself to a side. I would probably go with the Lakers. Put a gun to my head. I think 8 is just too many points for this Dallas Mavericks team, who just have not been covering at home this season, outside of 2 possessions or overall for that matter. But Terrell, what are your thoughts on the side here with Dallas as a -8 point favorite?
I'm not touching Dallas laying 8.5 points at home. I'm not doing it. You talked about the numbers not five, but 8, 17, and 1 as a favorite this season. Like, I feel like that's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. 8, 17, and 1, 6, 10, and 1 at home. They don't cover at home. They don't cover as a favorite. I understand this is a Lakers team, and the Lakers team is really, really bad. And everything that is supposed to be. However, this is a Lakers team that is now traveling to Dallas on Christmas Day, not the other way around. Like, we're not doing this in LA. Yep. Like, come on. I think there's a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because of that. I think that last night clearly was a look ahead spot for them, and I probably should have handicapped that a little bit better. But I'm not trusting Dallas to beat anybody by close to 10 points. I don't do it. At times it's Luka and nobody else, and I know they have your Tim Hardaway Juniors, your Spencer Dinwiddie, your Christian Wood, but this Lakers team's been okay defensively for the entirety of the year. I'm going to just bank on them to lock it down in one spot and keep this close. Like, I expect to see points, as you said. I think that they're going to run up and down the floor. As Delonte said, I'm not trusting the Mavericks to lay 8.5 points. I'm just not doing it. We can fall flat on our face. I'm perfectly fine doing it. The Mavericks are one team that I will not trust them laying this amount of points. They didn't even cover this against Houston. And Luka had 50. Luka had 50 and you still can't cover 7. Like, come on, I'm not doing this. Luka could go out here and have an amazing game, and they probably still can't cover the spread. They are not the team that you want to trust with a large number.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree too.
It's Lakers are past here. Let's go to the total here, guys. Currently sitting at 229 on this total here. Delonte, what do you think about the total here?
Yeah, I would just lean over simply because, I mean, I feel like whichever side you lean to or whichever side you want to bet, I think this correlated. If you like the Lakers, you gotta like the over just based off of the pace. If you like the Mavericks, you gotta like the under. For the last 5 the Mavericks games have went under, but also haven't played a team as fast as the Lakers like to play. And one thing that also is in the Mavericks' favor is they are third in turnover percentage. So they don't turn the ball over, which kind of somewhat can limit to fast breaking for the Lakers. And the Lakers, they don't turn people over. They're last in NBA in turnover percentage. The Mavericks, I mean, they really just like to play at a snail's pace. I mean, they are the only team in the NBA who averages under they're the only team in the NBA that doesn't average double-digit fast break points. They average 9 fast break points, which is 30th in the NBA. So they literally want to walk the ball up every single chance that they get. And if they are effective in doing that and hitting some threes, it could just, slow the game down. But I think the Lakers can dictate the pace. I think they'll get out. I think they'll run. They'll try to speed the Mavericks up. So I would lean to the over if I had to.
All right, Terrell, thoughts on the total here?
Yeah, I'm on the over. I think Dallas has quietly really been an over team all year. And I think that this is opportunity where I think the Lakers can force them into speeding this game up. I think they can force them into speeding this game up, getting out and running in transition. And just with the bad basketball that the Lakers play. Like, the Lakers are playing bad basketball. Yeah. If you're turning the ball over, if you're out here taking bad shots on the shot clock, allowing long rebounds and the other team get out in transition, of course they're going to run. You're begging them to run. So I think that they're going to force the Lakers are going to force the Mavericks to run by playing bad basketball. So, yeah, I'm on the over in this one. I think it flies.
All right, player props in this game, Terrell, what do you like?
Let's see here. Not really on too much in this game.
Okay.
If I had to go back to something, I would probably go back to Tim Hardaway Jr.'s 3 pointers, 2.5.
Yeah.
And just saying that after Luka had 50, they're going to try to get other people involved. And he's one guy that can come up, spot up, shoot in the corner. He's accepted that as his new role on his team instead of always having to be a creator like he's had to in the past. And for other teams having to be a creator, he's accepted that, hey, I'm just getting out the way. Luka's going to find me the ball and I'm going to drain it. So I'd probably go back to Tim Hardaway Jr.'s 3-pointers.
All right. Delonte, player props in this game?
Yeah, so my favorite player prop of the entire slate is LeBron over 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay.
He has absolutely been killing it since AD has been out. He has been a little bit tentative as far as going to the rim. I think his free throw numbers are really low the last 5 games. I think he only shot 4 free throws in 4 of those 5 games. I have to double check that. But he hasn't been aggressive. So he's been shooting, fadeaway jumpers and bad mid-range jumpers, chucking up 35-footers. Typically not what LeBron likes to do. And the Mavs have no inside presence at all, so he's going to dominate on the glass. The only question I have is, can his teammates, make enough shots to get him to the assist? But I mean, luckily, I think that he'll have, 38 and 15, and we won't have to worry about the assist. So I like LeBron over points, rebounds, and assists, and sprinkle a little bit 14-1 triple double. I've seen it out there. I don't know if you've seen a higher number or a lower number. That's just I only see one book that has it at 14-1. So if I'm off or somebody else, shop around, make sure you find the right number. Like Christian Wood, over 20.5 points and rebounds, much like I was talking about with the Lakers. Much I was talking about with the Mavs not having inside presence, the Lakers without AD. Thomas Bryant's not much of a defender. Christian Wood's gonna school him on a pick and roll. You can post him up. More size to dominate the glass for the Dallas Mavericks. So I like Christian Wood over 20.5 points and rebounds.
Yeah, I think my favorite player prop this game is going to be LeBron points, 29.5. He's gone over this in at least 5 straight games for the for the Lakers. And we'll make that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 games in a row. He's had 30 or more points. Again, we know the numbers and how well he does without Anthony Davis in the lineup because he is pretty much the scoring option at that point for this Lakers team. And again, being on Christmas Day, I think that he's going to come out and put on a show here in Dallas. So I like LeBron over 29.5 points here for this game against the Dallas Mavericks. Anything else for this game, guys, before we get over to the next one?
I know Real was talking about how Lakers are traveling to Dallas. So this is the first time Dallas has hosted a game on Christmas since 2011. And that was the year they beat LeBron when he was with Miami, with Jason Kidd. So, I mean, just if you're looking for, little things to tick off LeBron, LeBron, he listens to everything. He remembers everything. So if you're looking for something that might tick him off just a little bit, something to look into. And I mean, Mavs, they returned from a 4-game road trip. So it could be a little bit sleepy. I'm back at home, taking care of the kids and the wives and the side joints and how that goes. So
Thomas Bryant double at plus 220.
Yeah, I got hosed on that last night. He fell 2 points short.
He had 13 boards last night.
He's gonna get the rebounds. We all know he's gonna get the rebounds, but he should score in the paint in this game. When you think about who is opposing him on the other side, you're not afraid of Christian Wood inside. You don't think that he's gonna challenge him on the defensive end too much. I think that that's a solid play. He should be able to get a double-double.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get over to the next game of the Christmas Day schedule. That's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks headed to Boston to take on the Celtics. This line opened up in favor of the Boston Celtics, -3.5. That number's been bet up to -4.5 in favor of Boston. Total opened about 219.5. That number's been bet all the way up to 225.5 in this game. I think Chris Middleton is going to be missing this game for the Milwaukee Bucks. I did see a note that the Bucks said that they don't. It's not that they don't like it, but they haven't seen his knee progress in a timely manner that they hoped that it would have for Chris Middleton. So looks like it'll be the Giannis Jrue Holiday show for the Milwaukee Bucks. Boston, like we mentioned, coming off the victory last night against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They get the cover, and the Milwaukee Bucks falling short to the Brooklyn Nets last night. in that game. But let's start with the side here. Currently seeing -4.5 for this game between the Bucks and the Celtics. Terrell, let me start with you here. -4.5 for the Boston Celtics. Are you riding them like you did yesterday, or are we fading them in this game?
I think we got to back the Celtics in this one.
Okay.
And I want to pull up the number because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I've been watching this and just been super curious on it on the course of this season, because it seems like when the books say that the Bucks should lose, they lose. Now Bucks sitting at 2-4 as a underdog this season, all on the road. You think of what this is going to mean for Boston and for Milwaukee. I would have liked them if Chris Middleton plays in this game. And if it comes back that Chris Middleton is playing, which I really doubt that he is, I'm pretty sure he's going to be out for I think that I would probably pivot over to the Bucks just because I can't fade that threesome of Giannis, Drew Holiday, Middleton. They're too productive. They're too good ATS on the road, at home, everything. But in this spot where Boston reeling at first, just got a really well-needed win against the Timberwolves last night, still at home, no travel, Christmas Day. Like I took the road team the first two games. I think I kind of like backing the home team a little bit more on Christmas. It just didn't make sense for me with the first two games. I could probably get there a little bit more on the Knicks than the Mavericks, but here, Boston at home, get to spend Christmas with their family, hanging out. Bucks could be, it is like a big game atmosphere, but I'm expecting them to come out, look a little sluggish. Like, I think Boston wins this in the first half. That's one of my plays. I got Boston first half -2, -2.5, wherever you get that at. I think that's a really good play. I think Boston's going to come out here and play with a lot of energy, a lot of pace in the first half of the game, try to dominate and start fast. Milwaukee, normally a good first half team, has been reeling on the road this season in the first half a little bit. So, yeah, I'm going to take my chances. I think that this is a pretty decent spot for Boston, where people are still going to probably try to back Milwaukee as a dog, and they just haven't been that good in this spot over the course of the season.
Yeah, I agree here. There's something not right with this Milwaukee Bucks team. Now, I know whether that's dealing with injuries or whatever the case might be, but I think that
coaching,
Boston,
man.
Yeah, it could be coaching as well, but
it's not a good coach. He's not a good coach.
Delonte coming with a hot take, coach, but not a good coach. Yeah, I mean, it could be a possibility, but I just think I think Boston probably just, snapped out of this funk offensively when they were not knocking down their 3-point shots. And I think that, maybe that carries over to this game against the Milwaukee Bucks. But I think Giannis does have a big game. I think Time Lord should be able to go in this game. I think they probably gave him a night off yesterday so he could play in this game, at least maybe give him 15, 20 minutes to give him some rim protection there going up against Giannis. But I think that they have enough defensively to slow down Giannis. Giannis will still get his, but I don't think it's going to be enough for them to overcome what this Boston offense can do. Whether that's knocking down the 3-point shot or whether that's getting to the basket and finishing around the basket. I think there's just more offensive weapons and shooters for this Boston Celtics team right now than the Milwaukee Bucks, especially without Chris Middleton, who, let's face it, he hasn't been very good, coming back from injury so far this season. So I'm going to go with Boston here as well. Delonte, what do you like about this game as far as the side?
Yeah, man, I'll make it sweep. I like Boston as well. Like you just brought up one of the key components that I think that people aren't factoring in, and that's Robert Williams and his defense efforts. Al Horford has been one of the better defenders of Giannis. We saw that in the playoff run. Now, of course, nobody's going to stop Giannis, but he does make Giannis work, a little bit harder. So the combination of him and Robert Williams together, I think that's going to limit Giannis and frustrate him just a little bit. Boston's at home where they play extremely well. They haven't been playing well as of late. They are 3-6-1 last 10 ATS, but they are 8-2 last 10 ATS at home. So second in net rating, one of 3 teams to be in top 10 in both offensive and defensive rating. So they're going to not only play good basketball offensively, they're also going to play well defensively. And one thing about Milwaukee, where they are a good defensive team, they don't turn teams over. So Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, Jaylen Brown is, I guess, I don't know. He doesn't have, I can't even call him handles. Whatever he does, they're not gonna be able to turn him over. So that's gonna lead to more opportunities for these guys to put people in positions to score. So I like Boston a lot. Like their team total over. Um, One thing, something to monitor that I usually do in smaller spread games, I like to look at the free throw percentage. Boston's first in free throw percentage. So down the stretch, 2 3-point game and with a foul start, Boston's gonna make their free throws, especially with Brogdon, Smart, Brown, and Tatum on the floor. So I like Boston a lot. I'm surprised that it's the numbers not a little higher. Maybe it's just waiting on the Chris Middleton news. I would honestly like Middleton to play simply because I think we'll get more value on Boston if they do play. And something to watch for. I'm sorry, it's a fire truck coming by my crib. Something to watch for Boston is how aggressive that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are against Brook Lopez and his defense. So when those guys are getting downhill, I don't think Brook Lopez is going to be able to stay in front of them or stop them when they get to the paint. So I'll look at Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum props as well. But like you guys, I like Boston a lot.
All right. Terrell, any player props you're looking at in this game?
Probably. I'm probably going back to Jaylen Brown's turnovers.
Okay.
I'm probably going back to his turnovers and just it's too many defensive giants on this team for a guy that struggles to dribble the ball 10 times without turning the ball over. Like I'm not going to take my chances with that. He's turnover prone. It hasn't changed this year. It's been a little bit less this year, but this is a really good defensive matchup where it doesn't matter really who ends up switching on to him. He can get Javon Carter. He can get Drew Holiday. Go into the paint. You have Giannis and you have Brook Lopez, who is right now trending as defensive player of the year. I think he's going to turn the ball over when he gets the ball in his hand. So, that's the only aspect of Jaylen Brown's game that I don't like is how turnover prone he can be, how lackadaisical he can be with the ball. So back here in this matchup, I'm going to go for it again. I'm about to try to get you a number on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was plus money.
2.5 at -130.
All right. See, if you can find a 3 or a 3.5 at plus money, I take it.
All right. Delonte, any player props in this game?
Yeah, I like Jason Tatum over points, rebounds, and assists. I think he's gonna come out and be aggressive. He's gonna take on the challenge to. I think he might try to guard Giannis a little bit as well to spell Robert Williams and Al Horford from doing so. So there are a lot of players at Giannis, of course. So I like him points, rebounds, and assists over. I like Drew Holiday over as well, especially if Middleton's out. They're gonna have to rely more on Drew Holiday to do some scoring. And also Bobby Portis double. He's gonna be the anchor of that bench. I think he'll come out and play with some aggression against that Boston second unit. So I like those three as of right now.
All right.
If Jaylen Brown had a handle, he would be better than Jason Tatum.
For a while, I was saying he was even without that, but
if he had handles, he would be better than Jason Tatum. Just because of the fact that now you're adding probably a lot more scoring into his bag because he doesn't turn the ball over as much.
Better defense, better defender too. Awesome.
Yeah, better. Oh yeah, 100%. Anything else for this game, guys?
First quarter. I like first quarter over. Both teams top 5 in first quarter points per game. Boston's going to come out to be aggressive. The last time we seen them play an elite team, they fell short against the Orlando Magic. Well, actually, it was the Clippers. That was the last elite team, but they couldn't beat the Orlando Magic. Couldn't stop them at home, and I think they're going to come out with some aggression. Milwaukee's going to come out fired up as well. Big game, a lot of scoring. Both teams are known for defense, but I think each side has specific kind of advantages they can take care of, and I think that they'll be able to go back and forth in the first quarter before Mazzulla makes adjustments, because Bud, he's not going to adjust at all. So I like first quarter over 50. Right. I think it's 50. Let me try to find a number so we are on the same page. 58, 58 and a half. Is that what you see?
Let me see if I can find it. A lot of times I don't drop it till game day, but let me see. Quarters. First quarter, I see 54 and a half.
Oh, yeah, 54 and a half. That's cool. Yeah, I was looking at it wrong. Yep, 54 and a half. I'll take that.
All right. All right, guys, 2 games left on the schedule here. Let's go over to the Memphis Grizzlies headed to the Bay Area to take on the Golden State Warriors. 8 o'clock Eastern start for this game. Looking at the lines for this game, I'm currently seeing that the the Memphis Grizzlies are a 4.5-point favorite in this game. Total is at 228.5. Do see some 229s out there. Obviously, no Steph Curry in this game for the Golden State Warriors. We talked about Desmond Bane returning for the Memphis Grizzlies in this for this team in this game against Phoenix Suns. Now he'll be on the court looking for some revenge here against the Golden State Warriors after the Warriors eliminated them last season in the NBA playoffs there. And again, that was a couple games without John Morant, who had that injury. But Terrell, let me start with you here, man. This feels like an ultimate just get-up spots for the Memphis Grizzlies here. You backing the Grizzlies here, or are you taking the home dog?
All right, so y'all know Memphis is my guys. Memphis are my guys. Like those are my guys. Appreciate them. Great, entertaining team to watch. This is a terrible spot. This is a terrible spot because how much this game means to them. Like this game means so much that they're going to overlook this game. They are 100. I'm telling you right now, Memphis is overlooking the Warriors right now. This is a Warriors team that is still really good at home. Even without their star cast, they're still really good at home. You're potentially getting Andrew Wiggins back. So that's going to add a two-way player on both sides of the ball and potentially the game's leading scorer, if we're being frankly honest. And they're coming off of a 25-point win against the Phoenix Suns, another Western Conference foe that they get up for a lot. This Memphis team has been succumbed to Western Conference teams on the road. They just lost to Denver recently. They lost to OKC. Like they've lost to the Western Conference on the road. That's been a really bad spot for them. And we talk about Golden State at home all the time. And now I'm getting 4.5 points. I understand it's no Steph. Why are you getting up for this game if it's no Steph? Like why is this line only 4.5? This line should be at 7, 8. This should be a lot more. If you're telling me that I'm getting a full strength Grizzly squad and I'm getting no Steph, no Klay Thompson as well?
Klay should be in this game. He's not injured. I know that they don't play him on back-to-backs.
So you're looking at a projected starting lineup of Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Kevon Looney. Yeah. I think the Warriors are live in this game. This is a terrible spot with them coming off of 2 back-to-back blowout losses out east, coming home for Christmas. You have the Memphis Grizzlies, who are coming off of a blowout win against who was the top team in the West for 2 years in a row, basically. Yeah. So, I think that everybody is on Memphis. Literally everybody and their mother is on Memphis. This line has not moved, hasn't budged, not an inch. It's sitting at 4.5. It's been sitting at 4.5 for the longest. It will not get to 3 possessions. Like it's not getting there. 8 is a little bit of a key number in the NBA if you didn't know that. If this game was inching closer to 8, then okay, I would feel closer to Memphis. But the line is telling me to bet Golden State. My gut is telling me to bet Golden State. I know Steph is not in the game. Even the Grizzlies are telling you to bet Golden State because the Grizzlies are like, no Steph. I wish Steph was playing, but we still about to smack the heck out of y'all. Like, come on now. Those are my guys. Those are really my guys. But I'm going to let you know. They're missing a little bit of cohesion. Nick throwing out that the first game that Triple J and Bane played was last night. I think that they're about to get in here and they're going to get buried by the Warriors. Give me Golden State plus 4.5. Sprinkle on a plus 160 money line. I know that's 100% where nobody thought I was going with this, but I think this Golden State team is about to get up for this game, and I think Memphis is overlooking them without Steph Curry.
All right. Delonte, what do you got for this game? Memphis headed to the Bay Area to take on the Warriors.
If I was to let's say if I was to send you guys my notes, it would be exactly what Real just rattled off. Like exactly like from start to finish, like exactly what it is. I think it's a terrible spot for Memphis. Golden State, they of course we know they struggle on the road. I mean, even with that, they struggled on the road. They 4-13 ATS on the road, but they returned home from a 6-game road trip where they went 5 straight up. They're gonna get more comfortable. The shots are gonna fall. I think you're gonna get a semi glimpse of Game 6 Clay. So he's gonna be fired up for the game for the matchup. Um, Memphis, I think, like, well, I love Memphis. I think they win more games in the regular season simply because they just care and play harder than every other team. That's not a knock on them, but it's just we all know that 1/3 of the NBA, they don't play hard every night. I really think that Memphis, like 1 through like 15 or 18, however many guys they have, like on practice squad, whatever. I really think that they play harder than any other team in the NBA from night in and night out. Like that's just what they do. That's the mentality that they have in that city and in that organization, which is great. But all in all, I think this is a home run spot for Golden State. They get Wiggins back, which is absolutely it's big for them. I never thought I'd say that about Andrew Wiggins, but he's going to be able to defend. He's going to take some scoring load off of Clay and Poole. Draymond's going to be able to facilitate a little bit more instead of having to score. I guess I'll put that in quotation marks, or attempt to score. Memphis, they like you said, the cohesion is going to take a little bit with Bane just returning. Triple J is going to be locked in on that Michigan matchup between him and Draymond. Being that I think they're both from the same area. I know they're from the same state, but I think they're around from the same area. So they both embrace that matchup as well. One thing that Golden State doesn't have to worry about is paint production. Memphis is first in points per game in the paint. They defend well. They defend the paint well, and Golden State loves to attack the rim. Memphis is third in rim rate defense, third in effective field goal percentage defense. So defensively, they're going to play hard, but I think that Warriors shots will fall. I think those young guys, Kuminga, Wiseman, even to a lesser extent, Moody, I think those guys will play well and can match some of that energy that Memphis plays with. So I love Golden State in this spot. 4.5 money line. First quarter, especially love in the first quarter to come out and just blitz Memphis. So I'm real like Golden State a lot in this game.
Yeah, Golden State, I mean, you guys mentioned it. It's not a secret that this team is just better at home, right? And you just take a look at the ATS splits. It's no secret. They're 10-4 against spread at home, 1-0 as home underdogs this season, 9-4 as home favorites. So they take care of business at home. It's just on the road is where they just had troubles. And Memphis has not been a very good road team, at least against the spread, right? 4-11-1 against the spread on the road, 0-4 as road underdogs, and as road favorites, 4-7-1. So I think a lot of signs are pointing towards the Golden State Warriors here. I like the Golden State Warriors here as well. I think that Terrell and Delonte, you guys both hit the nail on the head that people are going to be all over the Memphis Grizzlies, without without Steph Curry for the Warriors, and that's just going to be the narrative in this game. But I think that I think there's enough for this team to compensate without Steph Curry on the floor, and we saw that when they played Toronto a few nights ago, or at least last week, where they just came out and just splits that Toronto Raptors team. Let's get over to the total here, guys. Terrell, quickly, I'll start with you on the total here. What do you like?
Give me a Warriors team total over.
Okay.
And I just think that they're going to be able to score. Memphis defensively has been good, but I think that this is a spot with the Warriors at home that they're going to run with a lot of pace. They're going to try to keep lock and step with Memphis. I don't think Memphis is going to come in here and lay an egg. I just don't think that defensively they're going to be what they've been all season, which is a pretty solid defensive unit, especially with Triple J and Dillon Brooks in the lineup. I think that this is the opportunity with, that it's a letdown on the defensive side of the ball. So I like a Warriors team total over, and I'll take an over for the game as well.
Yeah, I see 112.5 for the Warriors team total in this game. Full game total is at 228.5, 229, depending on your book. Delonte, thoughts on the total?
Yeah, I'd like the over. Both teams gonna play with pace, and one thing that Golden State does that kind of scares me in this matchup is they turn the ball over a lot. They're 30th in turnover percentage, and if they don't limit that, then Memphis can get out in transition where they are incredible, and Ja can get downhill and they'll start throwing alleys, and that could one thing could lead to another. So that's one thing that does scare me with this matchup, but it also leads us to the over. In the game. I think both teams are going to be able to knock down some threes, um, get out and run. Free throws. Another thing that I didn't bring up, Memphis is last in the NBA in free throw percentage. So, statistics show that they're going to, down the stretch, if it's a, 2 or 3 point game with the foul start, they'll start missing some shots. But let's hope we don't need that for the over. I like the over as well. Also with real on the Warriors team total over. I just think it's just a home run spot for Golden State.
Yep. Don't see any player props for this game. Probably still waiting for some injury news for the Golden State Warriors side. If you guys want to mention any guys you would be targeting this game here, Delonte, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I like Draymond points and assists. Rebounds and assists. I'm sorry. I see one look at 11.5. So basically just 6 rebounds, 6 assists. I think he'll be able to really distribute the ball with Wiggins being back. With the curl around with that Steph does so well, Jordan Poole will be able to fill that role and rebound. And Draymond's he's gonna make sure that Memphis doesn't have a lot of second chance points. He knows how good that they are in the paint and offensive rebound wise. So I look for him to go over that number. Also, I mentioned Clay going semi game 6, so I like him over. Let's see if I see his points at 20.5. I would play an alternate. I would play 25 plus. You probably can get plus money on it. But I like 20.5 just for grading purposes because we don't have a lot of numbers out right now. But those are the two I like the most in this game.
Terrell, any player props you're targeting in this game?
Yeah, I'm keeping the turnover thing going. Strutters, you and I are lockstep with this one. Jordan Poole in games without Steph Curry. 7 turnovers, 4 turnovers, 4, 4, 6, 4, 5, 5, 2, 4, 4, 5. So he's going to have the ball in his hands. There is a point of emphasis on his dribbling and how he dribbles the basketball and what's a carry, what's not a carry, how often that's been called against him and how it is. So I think that
Definitely
Jordan Poole with the ball in his hands and how he's been carrying himself in games, that he's going to turn the ball over a little bit. It's going to be more opportunities for turnovers. So I don't have a number on that right now because they're trying to figure out what that lineup is actually going to be. But when it comes out, it's probably going to sit somewhere between 2.5, 3.5. And I like both.
All right. All right, let's get over to the last game of the night. It's going to be the Phoenix Suns headed to Denver to take on the Denver Nuggets in this game. Looking at the opening lines for this game, I am currently seeing. Just lost my page. Give me a second here. Denver opened up as a 2.5-point favorite. That number's been bet up to -4.5 in this game. Total opened up at 231.5. That number's at 231 currently. Not sure if Devin Booker's going to be able to go in this game. He's dealing with a growing injury for the Phoenix Suns. I only see player props are right now for the Denver Nuggets. They're a pretty healthy squad. Jamal Murray came back on Friday night for the Denver Nuggets. We also saw the return of Michael Porter Jr. for the Denver Nuggets as well. Terrell, let me start with you on this game here. Currently seeing the Denver Nuggets are a 4.5-point home favorite hosting the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for me. I'm not taking Denver as a favorite. 10-4 as a favorite right now. Very good win against Portland last night. You were able to muscle that one through and get that. But overall, this is not a good team. ATS 14-17 on the season. At least Phoenix is somewhat covering games. I know they've been a lot worse recently, but I just don't trust this Denver team. And I think that now, after they've had a couple games to kind of refigure out the rotation and kind of talk things over and figure out what they're doing, that this could be a pretty decent spot for the Suns to come in here and play a lot better basketball than they did against Memphis and they did against Washington. So I'm expecting, this. Everybody's thinking that Denver didn't forget that they got swept by this team, all that, blah, blah, blah. I think this is a spot where DeAndre Ayton can have an amazing game in this one. This can be a spot where not Miles, but Mikal Bridges is able to go out there and add something on both ends, not just what he does defensively, but be able to add scoring as well. And when we get to the fourth quarter, that's when I'll feel comfortable about trusting Chris Paul, not necessarily before that, but when we get to the fourth quarter. So I think that this is a spot where Denver, so bad defensively, they have a lot of liabilities in that offensive lineup on defense. And I think that that's something that the Suns can take advantage of. So even though the Suns are shorthanded, I think they keep this one close.
All right. Delonte, what do you got for this game?
Yeah, out of all our games, I think this one is the maybe least attractive from like a betting perspective, simply because there's a lot of unknowns, especially with Phoenix. I was listening and reading some stuff from the Suns last night, and Monty Williams was asked about Devin Booker, and he said that Devin Booker had been shooting and moving around, but he wasn't moving around as effectively as he should be with the groin. So that kind of tells me that it could tell me two things. A, Devin Booker is going to be out for this game, or B, that's just basically coach speaking. He's really going to let Devin Booker play and have the Nuggets prepared for non-Devin Booker. So depending on which side you land on, like Real said, I trust the Nuggets against elite teams, and I think Phoenix is an elite team when healthy. So even without Booker, I like him in this matchup. I think, like Real mentioned again, Ayton is going to dominate inside. The rim rate of Denver is 29th. They're 28th in effective field goal percentage defense. So the Suns, even without those guys in the lineup, missing CP3 from time to time, missing Devin Booker from time to time, they're still top 5 in offensive rating and offensive efficiency. So the offense is there. And I think with as bad as Denver's defense is, some guys are going to get the looks. And one thing that I'm banking on is if Devin Booker is ruled in, this game is going to fall at least by 1.5, 2 points. So we'll get a little bit of value with that. And even if he's ruled out, maybe it'll move a half point, if that. So I think we're getting some value with the Suns at this number. It's just that some of the stuff that Monty Williams was saying, he was asked about what does he feel? How does he feel about teams like physicality and how they play against physical teams? And he was saying that they don't play well against physical teams. They feel like they get pumped when they play the Memphises, as they did last night, when they play the Bostons, when they play the Milwaukees, and that was kind of discouraging for me. But then I flipped it and was like, well, if I heard that and thought and felt way about it, these players had to feel the same way. It's going to come out with a lot more intensity. And Denver's not a physical team. They're a finesse team, so don't have to worry about a lot of physicality with this matchup. So I think it's a good spot for Phoenix. Love the 8 props. Props to Real for that. So I love the 8 props. Love Phoenix in this spot. So I would say them plus 1.5.
All right. You have thoughts on the total as well? All right. 30.5.
I go under. Now Denver is like one of the better offensive teams in the NBA, but I think the Suns can combat that with some good defense. They got good perimeter defenders. They're deep with guards and forwards. The only thing that could slow it, that could deter it, is if both teams are just like white hot from 3, and that could go. Good offense always beats good defense. So if the threes are falling from both sides, that's a bad indication for the over. But I would lean under simply because a slower pace game. The advantage for Phoenix is going to be on the inside with Ayton, and of course the Nuggets are going to want to rely a lot on Joker. So I would lean to the under. Just nothing strong though.
Draw, thoughts on the total?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go under on this one, and it's just if I'm on the Suns, I think the Suns control the pace of the game, and they're gonna run a slow game. Like they're gonna try to keep this in the half court, play really good defense, not let them get out and run, not have turnovers. Like this, I expect to see a very clean game from the Suns, where they limit turnovers, limit fast break, limit transition points, and that all that can drive a total under. So if I like the Suns, I gotta like the under.
All right. Anything else for this game, guys? Before we get into our lock and dog.
All right, I'm on Ayton.
Ayton, yeah, player props. Ayton. Anything else, Terrell?
No, that's it. I'm all on DeAndre Ayton this game.
Okay. Delonte, player props that you were targeting?
Yeah, I'm Ayton as well. I do like some Mikal Bridges props. He struggled the last 2 games. I think he breaks out of that. More than likely, Michael Porter Jr. is going to be on him, and we all know that Michael Porter Jr. can spell defense. So, like Mikal Bridges over, like threes over as well. It's not a lot of Phoenix props simply because we don't know the status of Booker. So not up just yet, but usually they would come. Mikal Bridges is usually like right around like 14 and a half, and then threes made is usually just 1.5. So I like both of those numbers over, along with Ayton double points and rebounds. I love Ayton in the matchup.
All right. Before we get into our lock and dog for this Christmas Day schedule, let me tell you guys about Dave. With the holidays here, you might be wondering how you're going to be able to make ends meet and shower your loved ones with gifts. Well, Dave can help you get out of the pinch so you can enjoy the holiday season. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck or just struggling to make ends meet, the holidays can be a really stressful time for you. But with Dave, you can get your money sooner so you can spend more time enjoying the holidays with your loved ones, not having to worry about how much money you're going to spend or how much money you're going to have to get throughout the week. Dave is a banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. With Dave, there's no interest, late fees, or credit checks. There's more money to buy those last-minute gifts or catch up on bills without having to wait for your next paycheck. You can finally tackle those expenses that you've been stressing out about without any hangups. Millions of people have already downloaded the Dave app for financial relief they need with extra cash. So if you're in a pinch and you need some extra help, download the Dave app and think of it as a helping hand from the future. So all you got to do is go to your app store right now or go to dave.com/SGPN to download the app, sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees applies. Banking services provided by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC. All right, guys, let's close it out strong here with our lock and dog for this Christmas Day schedule. Delonte, why don't you lead us off, man, with your lock and dog?
Yeah, man, I'm trying to narrow it down. So I think for the lock, we're going to go with a derivative. We're going to go with Milwaukee, Boston over 54.5 in the first quarter. Ran it down in the rundown about how both teams are very effective in the first quarter. I think Boston's going to come out and play with some energy, and I think Milwaukee out of that loss is going to come out and play with energy as well before both teams adjust and the game slows it down a little bit. So I like that over 54.5 for lock. As for the dog, another derivative. I'm going to go with Golden State first quarter money line. I see right now it's like 115, 120, 125. They'll shop around, try to get you at 125. I think Golden State comes out and plays extremely well. I do think that they win the game, but I'd much rather have some instant gratification. Go ahead and get my money and bet on somebody else, bet on another game. So Golden State Warriors money line, first quarter money line, plus 125 for the dog.
All right. For my lock and dog, I'm gonna go with a player prop for my lock. Let's go with LeBron over 29.5 points here against Dallas Mavericks. Talked about how he's pretty much the primary scoring option when AD is not on the floor for the LA Lakers. And he's been on a run of 6 straight games of at least 30 plus points for the LA Lakers. So right now at 29.5 for LeBron to get over this number as my lock. For my dog, I think it's the only dog that we all like on the board here. Give Give me the Golden State Warriors plus 4.5, plus 165, all the money line here to take care of business against the Memphis Grizzlies. I think we all hit the key points. I think this might be the sharper side where the public is going to be all over the Memphis Grizzlies, seeing that the Warriors don't have Steph, revenge angle, all that stuff. But Warriors just find a way to win games at home. And that's not been a secret this season for the Golden State Warriors. Taking care of business at home and on the road, it's a different story for this team. But on Christmas Day at home, getting Wiggins back with Klay Thompson, with Draymond, with Kevon Looney, with Jordan Poole, and the guys contributing off the bench, I think they can get the victory here against the Memphis Grizzlies. So plus 165 on the money line for the Golden State Warriors as my dog. Terrell, close out strong, my man.
All righty, here. Let's go with for my lock. Let's take the Knicks in the first half. Get out quick and go out there. I'll take Knicks first half. Get out quick. Really a good first half team over the course of the entire season. They're actually the number one first half team in terms of ATS over the entire season. Philly trending more closer to the bottom. I think that this is a good spot. The Knicks get out really quickly and then disappoint me in the second half. For my dog, can't get away from it. Give me Golden State money line. I think that this is just a really good spot, and it would just be like Memphis to lose this game with Steph being out.
Love it. All right, so that's going to do it for this edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast for the Christmas Day games. Anything else that we forgot to mention here, Terrell, before we get out of here?
No, I'm good to go.
Delonte, anything else, my man?
Nah, I'm good to go. I got an article coming out today that's got a best bet from every game. So if you guys want to check that out, putting in some other plays in the Discord. So, hit us up in there as well.
All right. We'll be back on Monday as usual to recap the Sunday games, the Christmas Day games, and we'll be back on regular schedule as usual for the NBA Gambling Podcast. Make sure to follow the the NBA Gambling Podcast account on Twitter at SGPNNBA. Make sure to follow and subscribe to the YouTube account for the NBA Gambling Podcast. You guys will know where we do go live. From the NBA Gambling Podcast family, everybody has a happy holiday, whether you're celebrating Christmas or with loved ones having your Christmas parties, holiday parties, all that good stuff. So be safe out there. I know the weather is bad around the country, but hey, enjoy the food, enjoy your time with your family, and from all of us here at the NBA Gambling Podcast, enjoy the holidays. We'll be back on Monday, like I said. Till then, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off and let it ride.